This video is brought to you by Iona, North America's premier charging network. With unmatched commitment to elevating the customer experience, Iona is opening America's roads to all EVs, giving drivers the coverage they need, the reliability they deserve, and the amenities they crave. Hello and welcome to another Out of Spec Reviews video. And welcome to maybe the smartest purchase I've ever made. Now, it may not look like it with the paint falling apart, but this is my new 2013, I believe, we'll double check that, Toyota RAV4 EV. This is a Tesla-powered electric car. Some would go so far as to say this is the car that saved Tesla, along with the Mercedes B-Class, because this and the Mercedes B-Class, both of which I own now, have Tesla batteries and motors, which were contracted by the original manufacturer for Tesla to power them. So this is not a conversion. This is a factory Tesla-powered Toyota RAV4 that was purchased through Toyota in the state of California, and at the end, maybe a couple other states. But it's such a cool car. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this one in particular and how I bought it for only $2,000, an insane steal. And it just shows that if you keep your eye on Facebook Marketplace, a gem will pop up sometimes. Except I did not buy this on Facebook Marketplace. So if you're always open to taking everyone's crappy cars and make videos about them on YouTube, which is one of my favorite things to do, sometimes cool opportunities fall into your lap. And in this case, Alex, who works for us, who makes Out of Spec Renew videos, awesome channel, by the way, if you're interested in older electric car, especially service and repair content. His channel has just been blowing up, huge interest in replacing battery packs, onboard chargers, fixing drive units. It's so fascinating. And Alex has been an EV and service repair technician and expert for years now. And that means that he's worked on a bunch of electric cars and met a bunch of people who own electric cars that need service. And this Toyota RAV4 EV is the second generation of the electric model, and they were known for a few faults. And I'll walk you through those in a minute. And I'll also show you a couple of my first generation electric RAV4 EVs, still with the old paddle charger, the J1773. Well, what happened with this one was Alex had been repairing it or servicing it throughout its lifetime. He's done some pretty big, major ticket items to this car that are absolutely key to have. And Alex had heard from the owner of this car that he was interested in selling it. It wasn't being driven anymore. It was still completely drivable and everything works. It just, you know, was of no longer any use to the folks, and they were willing to sell it for just a couple $1,000s. And I thought, well, I don't really care what condition the car comes in, send it over. I sent Danny to go pick it up. And you may have seen it in the background of a few videos and some stuff like that, but I've never told the full story on it. And it really is way better than you can imagine for $2,000. This is a fully functional, long range, I'm talking maybe 100 miles of range. We will do a range test on it or more, electric car for just a couple grand. And it's still under warranty. Of course, I will explain. I'd like to say a huge thank you to 3W Mats for sponsoring this Out of Spec video. Guys, finding the right floor mats for your car is honestly kind of a pain in the butt. So many of them don't fit right. They're too stiff. They're made with glue material that's toxic to animals, and the list goes on and on. Well, none of those are problems with the 3W mats. These things are engineered specifically through 3D laser scanning to fit perfectly in your vehicle. This is my Tesla Model 3, and this mat is specifically molded for my Tesla Model 3. You can see I can put it in there, and it fits, honestly, millimeter perfect, which is absolutely awesome. These mats are designed to stand the test of time. That means they need to be flexible, but also retain their shape. And using this particular mold and this particular material, they really hold up for a long time without getting messy or cracking or anything like that. Speaking of getting messy, this is a 10-second cleaning operation. Hit it with a hose, wipe it down, no special cleaners required. So much easier than cleaning a normal floor mat out of a vehicle. So guys, with all of that incredible material engineering, with the 3D scan design, and with a very reasonable price, why look anywhere else for floor mats for your car? 3W has you covered, and you can see if they have mats that fit your car by visiting the link in the description below. Thanks to 3W for sponsoring this video. If you look at some of the sales success Tesla has had with the Model Y, you can kind of tell that it's just a practical electric SUV. Yes, with lots of great tech in there and with global interest, that car has been an insane sales success. Imagine if Toyota kept iterating their RAV4 EV and didn't just stop here. They could have had essentially an electric RAV4 with modern technology that would rival the Tesla Model Y. They just dropped the ball after this and then came out with the BZ4X, which now the refreshed BZ4X just came out and it's actually not terrible. It's really not that bad. It's not great, but it's no Model Y competitor, that's for sure. And if they just had kept with this formula, it would have been amazing. This car was built for compliance reasons only, and this is why Toyota contracted Tesla. Yes, there was a time when they weren't necessarily competition. Toyota was funding Tesla right in the early days of Model S, and this car was built. It uses just over a 41 kilowatt hour gross battery pack. I want to say 41.8 kilowatt hours usable. And so that means gross is maybe 44, 45 kilowatt hours. This thing has 70,000 miles on it. That's all it has. And there is no charge limit that you can set RAV4s to. However, they do full charge to basically an indicated 100% every time, but then there's a boost function or sort of an extended range function that you activate in the screen before plugging in, and then it will charge to the actual 100% capacity of the battery. So most of the time, this car had never been fully charged. That was a very similar operating procedure to the Mercedes B-Class. Some of you know my blue Mercedes B-Class that I own. That car also, when I full charge it, is really only at about 85% state of charge when it indicates 100. Mine did not have the paid option to full charge the battery pack. Such a weird scenario that you had to option a button to then software unlock the full usable capacity. Not retrofittable after the fact, as far as I can tell. All RAV4s had the software in them to charge them to 100%. However, I can't do that on this one because really the only problem with it of two is the screen doesn't work. But we're gonna maybe try to source a replacement and get it up and working. So let me show you around it. What did I get for $2,000? Again, a 40 kilowatt hour, let's say it's 80. So what's interesting, Alex was telling me, let's talk battery capacity for a second. Alex was telling me a little bit about how the battery actually handles that boost conversion. Like when you say charge it to 100, apparently as they degrade, they show, basically the same usable range to the driver. It just eats into that full charge buffer. So rather than charging it to 85%, you're charging it to like 93, 95%. So Alex thinks that we would get, basically the same 100 to 0 range out of it as we would as day one. But if we put it into the boost charge mode or extended range mode to charge it all the way up, that we would only get maybe a kilowatt hour or two left above that. Now, we can always verify that when we put the new screen in there, but I think that's a really interesting logic to essentially show no degradation in your daily driving to the customer. I think that's a great suggestion. I don't know if the B-Class does that, but if so, my B-Class still feels like it has all the range advertised, and that's also 11 years old, this being 11 or 12 years old. So maybe that strategy did apply to the Mercedes as well. Very cool that that was the case. So maybe we're down to like 37, 38 kilowatt hours usable on this thing. Continue around, I'll show you. The interior is the real problem on this car. It doesn't look that bad right now. We actually paid a professional detailer to come here and completely shampoo the whole car. I spent 10% of the car's value. I spent $200 for a mobile detailer to come here, shampoo everything, and absolutely do his best to clean it up. Because when we got it, that, I was like, how could this thing be $2,000? It's drives really well. It's all good. And the previous owner's a viewer and a really cool guy. I don't want to like oust him on here, but if he's ever willing, I'd love to get him on camera one day. A real EV enthusiast, of course, for owning one of these. When they weren't using the RAV4 anymore, it was just parked in a field and I'm pretty sure the rats got to it. I mean, I'm definitely sure the rats got to it, and it smelled like rat pee in there. There was nests in the HVAC system, and so we had to do some mouse pee, mouse poop, mouse nest, get all that crap out of there. And so we had it all shampooed. We pulled the air filter from the HVAC out, cleaned, everything out of there, and then ozoned the car for like 2 days straight. I mean, you're not really supposed to ozone a car for more than a short period of time. Let me tell you, this needed it, and that helped a ton. Really helped a ton. So we've got, I would say, a livable smelling car now, but not pleasant yet. So we may end up pulling the back seats out of it and maybe even finding, I don't know exactly what we're going to do, but it just needs a little bit of help on the smell. That's really the main problem, that and the screen. Now, this car came with, I should also mention the paint situation. All of these years Toyotas with the tri-coat white diamond paint, whatever it was called, have a known defect to peel like this. It's very common to see Toyotas from this generation have this sort of white paint that just peels off. And it is, Toyota knew about this, and it had an extended warranty on the paint, except it had expired by the time I had purchased the car. So the previous owner knew that the paint warranty had extended. They could have brought it in for a repaint. I guess they were busy or forgot about it. I'm not sure the situation. And so now we're left with a car. Again, I got a great deal on it, so don't take this as complaining. It just needs a repaint. What I was thinking was 2 options. We could strip the entire car of paint. Doesn't make sense to respray it. But what we could do is we could wrap it something interesting, and I'll tell you what I'm thinking about doing with this vehicle. Or it kind of seems like a good case to plasti dip the car. And I've never really played around with plasti dipping a car. I think it'd be kind of fun. And yeah, I mean, I get their advertisements for the plasti dip stuff all over the place. Before you get any closer, I have to tell you, under the hood of this RAV4 EV is something that makes it worth so much money and makes this vehicle so much more usable. Because, let's talk charging. This is the JDMO, the QC Charge JDMO DC fast charging kit for the RAV4. An aftermarket DC fast charging kit with Chatamo. Now, my buddy Brent now owns QC Charge. This was back when Tony Williams owned QC Charge. We've done a ton of videos with them, now also rebranded as Conduit EV for their service side. You guys remember we've borrowed their Model S for the cross-country trip, and Alex used to be a tech there, which is how he knew this car's story from the beginning. So it all, of course, comes full circle. So the owner of this car was a customer of QC Charge, and QC Charge and Conduit now specialize still in RAV4 EV maintenance. They're absolutely awesome. Alex, of course, at Wattworks in the Pacific Northwest, doing the same and similar work. And so this car was upgraded, which at the time was a few $1,000 upgrade. I don't even know how much, but maybe $2,000 or $2,500 to enable about 50 kilowatt DC fast charging speeds. And it will hold about 50 kilowatts deep into the pack. I'll pull up before we end this video. I have the original marketing material and promotional material for this JDMO kit that says a whole bunch of information about charge curves and other stuff. It's so cool. Come around with me over here to this side because I'm going to open up the charge port over here. So this vehicle was, and still is primarily charged through the J1772 port for AC charging. I think it has a 40 amp onboard charger, if I remember correctly. Should be around 9 kilowatts or so. And that's more than fine for most use cases. However, I have never tried to fast charge this one. And also something we should do in this video is we have a DC charger just a few exits down the highway from here. We should definitely go over and try a Chatamo fast charge with it. We could also potentially try charging it off of our mobile DC charging trailer right there. However, well, it'd be worth a try. I'm pretty sure the charging adapter does not work with the RAV4 EV. So I would like to take it to a charge point station, plug it into Chatamo, and see how that works. A couple other things to note about this car, other than the insane deal that I got for $2,000, is it's still under warranty. Many RAV4 EV owners opted to go for something called the Platinum warranty, and I'll show you the brochure on that in a moment as well. And I'm pretty sure we have another 6 months or 1 year of mechanical warranty. It covers powertrain and other stuff. It might even cover the screen inside the RAV4. I will definitely look into that and check, because it would be cool if it did. And I believe it was something Toyota offered. And Alex was telling me funny stories about how cars, for example, under the Platinum warranty, Toyota would have to service them. Toyota would say, we didn't even know we made a RAV4 EV of this generation, and we need to replace the onboard charger, and no onboard chargers exist. So they would call QC Charge, and QC Charge would supply some, used or close to new equipment to Toyota dealers to satisfy the warranty terms. It really turned out to be a disaster for Toyota and many customers about how they handled aftercare for this vehicle. But it's such a cool car. I believe only a couple thousand, maybe 2,400, 2,500 were ever made of this generation. And I see them on the road from time to time, especially in Southern California. If you go to Catalina Island, they have a whole fleet of these still running around. And every time I see one with the sort of good looking taillights and the cool headlights up here especially, these are the dead giveaway, the LED headlights, that it's the RAV4 EV. Now what's funny, in Europe, if you bought a RAV4 high spec of this generation, let me turn the lights on, let's see how they look. You bought a high spec RAV4, they also, combustion, had the LED headlights like that. So you can see it's like halogen, or maybe they're both LED. No, that's definitely halogen. It's throwing a ton of heat. And then this one's LED. So yeah, in Europe, I'm like, oh, RAV4 EV? Nope, just had basically the Euro spec headlights on this thing. But it's such a cool car. It's really quite quick, quite fun to drive as well. It lays the biggest burnouts you could ever imagine. Time in editing this video. Can you insert a clip of Alex ripping a fat burnout right here? We just need a quick hit. Show everyone true power. This car was only $2,000. It was supposed to be our backup car. We didn't end up needing it. And
lights them up.
Let's run up. I'll show you some of the service documentation for this car, some of the warranty stuff, some of the QC Charge stuff. Then we will take it to the charge point station, plug it in, and see what happens. Well, guys, welcome to the inside of the RAV4 EV, and it looks way better than when we got it. When we got it, I think maybe the windows had been left down for a little while, and there was streaks everywhere all over the windshield, and it just was a little bit nasty in here, and now we're pretty much good to go. So this screen, like I mentioned, is dead. However, one time I had the backup camera come on when I put it into reverse. The screen fired up. For now, though, we're going to go into drive, and I'm going to take you for a little drive in the RAV4. I'm currently sitting at 50% state of charge, and we'll roll up the windows here a little bit, just so it doesn't get too crazy windy in the car. Drives great, really does. I mean, I've got a cool instrument cluster with a ton of different displays. If you can zoom in over here on this side, I can go through efficiency, trip, eco coach. It'll even tell me like CO2 reduction, which is kind of interesting. Driving range, lots of great stuff in here. I typically keep it on the auxiliary power. It tells me how much air conditioning I'm pulling and other things like that. It's really awesome. Two very important buttons are sport mode down here. It increases your maximum top speed from what to what, I'm not sure. But guess what? We have a place to find out. Let's go see what the top speed is. And then of course there's traction control off, which we have played around with. And this does the world's longest front wheel drive burnouts you could ever imagine. So let's go into B mode on the shifter. The shifter's straight out of a Prius, which is kind of funny. If you can look down here, you can pull back for B mode, which is just increased regen. Great turning radius. Let's see what the top speed is in standard mode. So I am full throttle, ramping into the power, but it's still strong. 40 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour, 55, 60. I mean, plenty of performance to get down the road. We're now up to 70 miles an hour. I'm full throttle. Dang. 85, 86 miles an hour, 87. So that is the top speed, not in sport mode. What do we think the top speed will be in sport mode? Alyssa, do you have a guess? In sport mode, 90? You think just 3 miles an hour faster? I don't know. I feel like maybe we're going to hit 100 in this thing. How cool would that be? it's certainly got some great performance to it. So sport mode activated. I'm coming all the way back here so we can get a running start down the straightaway. I believe we'll get the same amount of power, but like if I turn traction control off, just spins the tires wherever you go. So let's come into this corner here pretty quick. Wow, we are not talking about amazing handling characteristics. Full throttle onto the straightaway at 70 miles an hour. There's 80. There's 85. There's 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92. It's backing off at 93, 94, and we're onto the brakes. So I think not 100, but 94, 95-ish. Feels like the top speed in sport mode. And we lost one battery bar doing all of that. Well, that was quite interesting. Another thing that it has is a strong and nice handbrake. So you can come into a corner and... it seems to only work on that wheel. Hold on. The other day, it would lock both rear tires. Now, it seems to only lock that one. So maybe skidding the RAV4 around isn't going to happen. Regardless, let's get back to the serious stuff and run up to the bay. We'll pull all the documents because I think that's kind of interesting. And the only thing that we need to do in terms of service now, if you look down here, is I have the new cabin air filter on order. And that should be here in a few days. We'll throw that in, put the glove box back together, and then we've got ourselves a really nice RAV4 to do something with. What that something is, I will explain to you. Well, guys, you join us out in the RAV4 for a drive. The smell isn't bad as long as we keep the windows cracked a little bit. Look, it tracks dead straight. It feels amazing out here on the highway. I just had the cruise control on at 70 or 75 the whole way here, and we're heading to this, which is our local supercharging station to the track. It's just about 3 exits down the road, and it's a 60 stall supercharger. However, it is not a magic dock station, which means we can't try to use our CCS adapter there. There's also a single charge point CPE 250 buried in the corner. That's a CCS and Chatamo unit. So that's what we're heading over here to try out. But I love this charging station. It's such a cool one. It's version 4 dispensers on the right side, version 3 dispensers on the left side. And yep, very, very nice. Charging location, Dunkin' Donuts. Always pre-order if you're coming here. They take a long time. And this will be our test subject for today. We will be seeing if this charger can charge our RAV4 EV. Now, this is going to be interesting. I've never charged on a JDMO before. They're kind of legendary. Some Roadster owners used them. RAV4 EV and B-Class, I think, were all the vehicles that went for this aftermarket solution developed by QC Charge. I think what we have to do is we have to keep the RAV4 on because it's essentially thinking it's going to regen the motors. Now, I think in the Roadsters, you'd actually have to leave them in gear with the parking brake on because it was like regenning. It was a little wild. I could be misremembering, but I also brought some of the documentation over. So once it's starting to charge, I'll walk you through some of the documentation on it. Oh, I was looking for my phone. We're filming on my phone. Look at all those modern EV drivers, Lyrics, Teslas, all charging on through their native charge port location. I'm going to pop the hood to charge here. So let's see. It says to start charge, vehicle on, ready icon, vehicle in park, parking brake set. I did not do that. So let me crank on the parking brake. Parking brake is on. I also got hung up on the door latch there. Let's see, what else? Connect charging station, then start the charging session. Okay, so we'll plug in first, then activate. If we place the vehicle in drive or reverse when plugged into the charging station, check EV system will display on dash. Vehicle is immobilized. Disconnect charging station plug, turn the car off and then on 4 times to clear the message. Okay. It says if we plug it in with the car off, it won't accept a charge. If both button modes are selected, the green LED light will alternate between short and long blinks. Okay, don't know what that means. Constant blinking of the green LED indicates an automatic power reduction for over or under temperature limitations of the vehicle battery. So it does do thermal management of the battery, which is great. And that's all built in there. Alex says this thing's pretty robust and it shouldn't be a problem. So we'll plug in the Chatamo in. Alyssa, you'll probably, because we're filming on my phone, have to pull up your ChargePoint card. Huh. It doesn't even recognize that we are plugged into the station here. Let's see. Maybe we got to go into the ChargePoint app because it's Chatamo. Weird. All right, give us a second to troubleshoot. Okay, I've activated it through the phone app here, and I heard some contactors click, and I heard this get powered up as well. So we should be good. It says waiting for EV, 15 seconds, but this has the red power light on it on this side. I don't know if you can see that there too. Yep. Great. Things are clicking. Oh, we're charging. It knows we're at 27%. No way. So it does DC charge. And it should get up to about 50 kilowatts. I wonder what voltage we're at. I don't know if this has the new software on it. These screens kind of suck, so I don't love touching them. We're doing 30 kilowatt charging on our RAV4 with the aftermarket charging solution. How sick is that? 32, it's still ramping. All right, while that's ramping up, let me show you some of the documentation that I've brought along. I'll meet you up there. I'll bring it on up that way so we can run through everything. So first what I'll do is I'll go through the JDMO list. We're up to over 40 kilowatts. I've got my bill of sale saying I bought it for $2,000. I've got a bunch of good stuff here. So this is what I'm primarily interested in showing you guys. So this is the original JDMO for 2012 to 2014 RAV4 EV. This is maybe well, it says it on there. I'll double check the year of this one. So let's see. In the documents bag, it came with a bunch of stuff. It's basically like, thank you for purchasing. Whoa, brake booster just booted up. You need to remove the if you want to leave it while it's charging, you have to lock the door with the mechanical fob. Limited warranty. I love this. This is the actual charging curve and some other good stuff on here. So what we should be doing is we should be doing 120 amps, 45 kilowatts. And that's basically where we're at right now. 42, these screens suck. But we're doing 42.4 kilowatts. And you'll see the kilowatt graph right here come up as state of charge increases. So we should hold full power to about 40%. We're at 31%. So we'll get another 10% running 120 amps. Then we just have this nice taper down all the way. And it's about 0 to full. Yeah, 0 to 100-ish percent in, let's say 80 minutes, 75 minutes gets you to 90 or so. 90% should come at around an hour. And then from 90 to 100% could take looks like almost another hour. Yeah, voltage is on here as well, but it's not quite represented perfectly. It's like maybe 300 volts dead up to 390 full, somewhere around there. Now this is a really interesting graph. This is the range chart for the 41.8 kilowatt hour Tesla battery that's in the RAV4 EV. And you can see usable kilowatt hours, 37.6 at 100%. So that's without going into the extended range charge mode, I guess. Oh, no. Excuse me. Is that correct? So it says full is normally 33.3 kilowatt hours. And then to go to the extended range, you get up to 37.6. So maybe I was overestimating our battery capacity a little bit. And this basically says everything that we need to see. Subtract 1.8 kilowatt hours for every 1,000 foot elevation increase. This is all early days of road tripping. I love that. I guess Tony or someone went through all of this range charts back in the day. It's super cool. So it says at 1 bar, we are very low. We have basically less than a half a mile at 35 miles an hour when turtle mode comes on. So when turtle mode kicks on, this thing gives you almost nothing and you're off the road. That's what this chart's saying. And this was assuming 10% battery degradation. So this isn't totally perfect, but that's kind of, we're probably at around 15% battery degradation if I had to guess. Now, let me grab another piece of information for you guys while we're sitting here, which is the Platinum warranty information here. Your vehicle service agreement Platinum. This vehicle is under warranty until 125,000 miles or until 8 of 26. So that is literally another year of warranty. And it covers everything in here, I guess. It's got a lot of, things. Alex will know exactly what it covers. But how crazy is that? That this thing is still under warranty and it is transferable to me. I just have to fill out a sheet. And we've got an under warranty electric car. Again, it doesn't cover the battery pack, just covers the motor and some other components as well. But the motors were the big deal. And so I'm really, really excited about that. So I think I mentioned to you that, yes, of course, one of the upgrades Alex did was the JDMO. The other thing that Alex did, how does this making it so late in the video? But this is what happens when I don't write things down. The other big expense that was spent on this vehicle under previous ownership, shout out to Mike who owned it. Again, I don't want to throw his full name out there. Alex performed the rotor coolant delete on this, already done. And that's quite an expensive upgrade. It's something QC Charge and Conduit EV did on my B-Class electric. It's something I did here, and it's something every large drive unit from Tesla needs. This is essentially a Model S motor with reverse cut gears because it's running front wheel drive. And you have to do a rotor coolant delete on these if you want them to last with peace of mind. And this one has the coolant delete already done. So it has JDMO, it has coolant delete, it has a warranty, just needs some paint, and it needs a little, smell situation inside. And we've got ourselves one hell of a cool car. Also, Alyssa, I'd love for you to come up over here because the view of this must be hilarious. People must think we're like broken down, icing a charging station, because just look at it from over here. That's the view people would see rolling up. No one, even me, no one would know that we're DC fast charging an electric car right now. And I'm so thrilled to be able to do it, and so thrilled for the opportunity to own this car. So what are we going to do next with it? What's the plan? Well, I'd like to make it nice. This is a really nice car. The bones of it are awesome. It's incredibly nice to drive. Just good suspension, very quiet on the highway, sits at 80 miles an hour, no problem. It does all the stuff. It has fast charging in a pinch, although we'll probably level 2 charge it most of the time. And it's just a great form of transportation for, bombing around. I was thinking we should turn this into our sort of emergency medical, whatever, support vehicle at the track. We get some lights for the top. We paint it, in an ambulance-ish color scheme, and we actually kit it out with some stuff. We're going to get, first aid kits, Jaws of Life, I don't know, stuff to have at the track because it does some things really well. It starts up and drives immediately, and it's quite quick. So if there's an emergency, if someone crashes, we can boom, get people out there right away. It's reliable, of course, it's electric. And I think it would be great. Plus, there's just so much room in this thing to make, a slide out tray of some kind. This door opens all the way. You get great access to the back of the vehicle. The back seats can come out, and we can have ourselves a really nice auxiliary support vehicle. I was thinking we could mount a trailer hitch on the back, maybe a winch on the front, and just use it as sort of a support car for if things happen on track. And I would be really interested in learning more about the medical equipment, learning about how to use things properly. We'll be filming a lot of those educational type content over on my personal channel, which is just called Kyle Connor. I'm looking forward to sharing that all with you at some point in the future as we learn how to, what happens when we light an electric car on fire. That'll probably happen on this channel. With all that said, let's see if we're tapering yet. And then we'll end this video because I think you guys get the idea. Insane car for the money. Yeah, it's a pretty big battery pack. It must be because we're only at 43%. I'm going to charge it until it's supposed to taper. I'd love to see this thing rip the full 45 kilowatts. And I'll show you that, and then we'll end this clip. Well, guys, I thought this thing was going to taper at 50%, and here we are still at 60%, ripping full power. Let's just double check that charging curve really quick. I am curious to see if we are reading that chart wrong, which is possible. Let's take a look. Kilowatts is purple. 60% here. We should be down in the 30 kilowatt range. But no, we're still pulling 45 kilowatts. Perhaps it's had a software update, or it's broken and we're frying the batteries right now. I guess there's no way of knowing. If it gets up beyond 70-75% without tapering, I'm definitely going to cut it off there, and I'll call and ask Alex what's up. So I called Alex and I was like, dude, this thing's still pulling big power. What's going on? He said, nope, that chart that's in there, ignore that. He said these things are designed to pull full power to about 80% and then ramp down. Alex also suggested that I turn on, oh, what the heck is going on over here? She's got some, what do you got here? Some boiled peanuts?
Oh, come on, don't out me like that.
Your peanuts. All right. That looks nasty, but she loves those southern boiled peanuts. Alex suggested that I turn the climate control on, not necessarily to condition the cabin, but he said it will actually kick the compressor on to cool the battery pack. He said this, when it does hit thermal limits, it will ramp down charging. But he's like, he mentioned if we turn climate control on, then it can actually kick the compressor to cool the battery pack. It just has no way to turn on the compressor, this JDMO aftermarket thing, if climate control's off. So now I know when I'm DC charging this, turn climate control on at a very reasonable level so it's not working too hard to cool the cabin, and that should keep the battery temperature perfect. And we're still ripping full power up here at 76%. You know what? For the amount of range this car has, which I'm gonna guess is around 100 miles of highway range, maybe 120 on a good day. We'll have to definitely do a range test on it for sure pretty soon. I'm really impressed with the charging performance. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait until it tapers, because I'm just curious to see when that happens. And then I'm gonna try to see if we can CCS charge it. Then I can actually take this on road trips, which I probably won't do, but you could do if you wanted to. And just like Alex says, he's always right. It tapers just after 80%. We're down to 42 and ramping down from there. So what I'm gonna do is stop the charging session and then see if we can activate it with CCS. And here are the stats. It was 23 kilowatt hours and 32 minutes. Cost us about $7 to charge this thing up. Not too terribly bad. Time to play around with the CCS adapter now. So I hear a lot of things clicking, and now it says not charging. This is exactly what we saw before. This is fast blinking. It's not happy with it. So this A to Z adapter is awesome, but it's primarily tuned for like Leafs and iMeves and other stuff, not this old school JDMO. Maybe we could figure out a way to have Amin and the guys at A to Z tune this to go almost backwards and old school to work on this old Chatamo stuff that this car wants. I mean, it should be possible because the station Chatamo works fine. But anyway, the A to Z adapter doesn't work on old school Chatamo. But I'm going to send the logs over to them, because this does store the logs of every failed charging session, and see if they can get it to work. And yep, it definitely tried. It went through some communication. Contactors clicked on this side. Contactors clicked on this side, and then it faulted. But that would have been really neat. So anyway, that is the end of the video. My new 20, let me get the year straight for you guys before I leave you. 20, what do you think it is, Alyssa? 12, 13, 14? 13, you think? Let's see, 2013. It is a 2013 RAV4 EV. Thrilled to have it, 70,000 miles, drives great. Needs a little bit of paint work, and then she's ready to rock and roll. It's got the coolant delete, it's got the JDMO. She's ready for duty. I think track medical safety car. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. See you on another one again soon. Bye-bye. It shows 10 miles per kilowatt hour average because that includes our charging session. So of course it just thought we were gaining range the whole time we were connected to the charger. And there we go. How did I only get a 41 out of 100 if we got 10 miles per kilowatt hour? That doesn't make any sense.